So the first topic I'm going to have to go with now, I wrote this question down a couple of days ago before certain news broke that will not really go into too much detail because we don't want to get sued and turned. But Karl, of course, has built an empire from selling drugs and also from his podcast. Who are these podcasts? And particularly two of his more popular targets at the minute is, of course, Chad Zumock and, you guessed it, Stuttering John. I am openly a Chad Zumock guy. I think he can be hilarious. I love the darkness of his comedy. I love the fact that he looks like Bruce Willis if Bruce Willis never, ever cared about his physical appearance. But the question I'm going to go for you, Karl, my love, is between Stuttering John and Chad Zumock, the Z-Man, who's worse?
Who's worse in what, life?
In any way.
So Chad Zumock is worse only because Stuttering John actually had a career at one point. Chad was the third mic on an afternoon radio show in Cleveland for 2.5 years. And that's still his only credit and what he goes by. He literally thinks of himself as a radio personality to this day. And that was, 12 years ago, 13 years ago that he was on that show. So Chad has really never accomplished anything. He moved out to LA to try to become famous. It didn't work. He moved to New York. It didn't work. He's now down in Tampa. He's not even the funniest open micer. He lost the contest. He actually entered into an open micer funniest guy in Florida contest and lost. So I don't know how you find him funny, Hughezy. It says a lot about you, actually, to think that he's funny. Did you watch the roast? Did you hear the roast jokes that he wrote?
I couldn't watch that roast because it's Kevin Brennan. I don't fucking like him. And the whole idea of his show is that we're going to get Zumock on and Ray and, Ray, I'm going to throw you off the show. And it's like, are you, Kevin? Because you haven't said that before.
Kevin's the only way to watch Chad Zumock because Kevin just trashes him the whole time. It's funny. But Chad on his own is terrible.
I always say, if you have nothing nice to say, then you shouldn't say it. And I also think that Ray DeVito was a piece of shit. But with Chad and Stuttering John, sorry, I'm allergic to anger. But the thing about with Chad and Stuttering John, I don't know how you have the patience to deal with Stuttering John in any way. Like this whole stuff with Vinny. It's really like Vinny's just trying to do his job and book a show where he fucking has a hack come on and people buy tickets. But I think it was destined to go wrong. Yet if he booked Chad Zumock, well, A, it wouldn't sell tickets, but B, there would be no stress that comes out of it because Chad would just do the show and get completely wasted in the green room.
Right.
Phil, from your experiences of watching as an outsider, I've got a fucking cold right out of the blue. This legit snow is getting to me. Am I right, guys? Hilarious Christmas comedy right there. Phil, you're also muted, but what I would say, I think Phil must have farted while Karl was speaking, but with that
was Phil.
No, I was trying to spare you the sound of the people being hunted for sport in the next office, but
oh no, yeah, and also the shit splattering against the back of your shorts. But with as a viewer from the outside, to see this Stuttering John and Chad Zumock stuff, which person? Well, it might be a silly question, but who do you actually think is between them the funnier of the two?
That's a really tough question. I mean, it depends on how you define like the amusement value they give you, like funny as a person and funny trying to do stand-up. I think Chad has a much better stand-up act than John because John doesn't have an act and Chad does. So, but I mean, in terms of who gives you more entertainment by failing at life, it's got to be John. He's the person that an entire podcast industry has grown up around, not because he's so great and so famous as he thinks, but because it's so endlessly entertaining watching him fail at life. And, you know, Chad is, he's like, if you had to pick one of them as a roommate, you'd pick Chad. There'd be no hesitation. He seems like he'd be okay to room with, whereas John would be a nightmare in every conceivable dimension.
Yeah, Stuttering John's such an alcoholic that he really puts the wine in Harvey Weinstein. But with Chad, I just think that he's one of these unfortunate pylon guys that everybody has decided to target. Some people have reasons to do it. Karl, of course, could it actually get kind of fucking personal pretty quickly. But I think that with Stuttering John, like all this, always trying to give away people's private details, and the fact that he keeps talking about the same 8 things. Like it's not healthy or normal. I'd rather fucking share that drink that Phil just had with Tom fucking Hanks's character from Philadelphia. But Joey, your interactions with him, because you get to know Stuttering John pretty well, pretty quickly. But then, how has your interactions been with Chad Zumock, and what is the current status of the Stuttering John feud as of at the time of recording?
Well, first of all, since you put Karl out on the block there that he's the main drug dealer for the United States, my shipment's late, Karl. We need that stuff.
I got your numerous emails, Joey. We're on it. We're working on it.
All right. Second of all, I don't accept the choices. I mean, I'm a Joey C guy. You know, fuck Chad Zumock and fuck Stuttering John. You know, I'm the future, 2024. Okay,
answer.
That's where it's at. It's vote for Joe Catalano in 2024. No, I mean, you know, I don't know Chad Zumock. I really don't know much about him. Never met him. I've only seen him a couple times. John, I think, is funny when he's drunk. I don't see anything else where he was too funny any other time. I just ordered a whole truckload of sheets. I was going into the sheet business. I was going to sell them at the March 9th appearance there. But now that he's decided to quit, I'm stuck with a truckload of sheets here. I don't know what to do here. So
the funniest thing that John ever uttered was on that drunk stream where he just looked at you out of nowhere and said, "Joe, you ever kill anybody?"
Yeah. Mason of Portland. Joe, you ever kill anybody? Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. I agree with that one, Phil.
Would you ever kill someone who agrees to transition young children?
Well, he was also trying to solicit me to come down to New York or to Detroit to go beat up Karl.
I mean, really?
Yeah, he in that show. He goes, "I'll pay for the whole trip. You and DG meet me in Detroit." You know, and I'm like, John, you realize you're on the air here, and Karl is like probably listening. Yeah, he was. It was pretty funny.
I gotta say, even if John got all of his friends together, you and DG, I think he would have been outnumbered in Detroit.
Yeah, I think so too. I kind of told him, I said, "Nah, I don't think it's a good idea, John."
Yeah.
So. Just imagine the fear on people's faces as DG advances on them, meaning them harm. I can just imagine.
That was pretty funny. But it was a classic stream. I don't even know if I have that. He took that down a long time ago, didn't he? I don't even know if it's still floating around. That was a pretty good.
He takes everything down, but no, it's still floating around. People have it.
Yeah, the Shuli Network has the millions of segments they did on it all in a row.
Okay, good.
But so I think we can all agree that it's Chad Zumock over Stuttering John.
Yeah, I would say so. Comedy-wise, I guess. Yeah, like I said, I don't know much about Zumock, but I would definitely say so.
I think we've got to try to set up some type of Joey C, Chad Zumock interactions before the end of the year, because that's a bit of gold waiting to happen.
I guess some people have tried. Before, when I was speaking to Kevin Brennan, he suggested that Zumock and I go stream from Tampa, riding around Tampa, just in the car. You know, he's only like 6 miles down the road from me here, so but I've never met him. I've tried to reach out.
Garage you can park your car into, so you can keep your catalytic converter.
Exactly.
But then again, with the Stuttering John and Chad Zumock thing, they both. Well, I don't know how Chad's doing, but Stuttering John just seems like he's at the end of his fucking tether. Like he's like, I don't see how it could get any worse. I mean, it's not like he shit the bed at somebody's house, but So who would you rather be? There's a question between Chad Zumock and Stuttering John. We'll go with the lovely Karl Hambuger for this one.
I'd rather be suicidal. That sounds like a horrible decision I have to make. No, thank you.
Go on.
What kind of question is that? Would I rather be a drunk failure on the West Coast or a drunk failure on the East Coast? I don't know. I guess I like Florida better than California. Is that an answer? I don't know.
Karl, you're not looking at this as the opportunity that it represents. It's a Freaky Friday scenario where you you wake up in somebody else's body. So you got to pick a body to wake up in. But what you make of your life after that moment is up to you. So which one of them gives you the better platform for going anywhere but here?
Yeah, well, obviously I don't want to wake up in shit. So obviously Chad's the answer based on that.
Tomorrow might be a day.
See, I think the choice is clear. If you had to pick one of them to suddenly wake up and be, Chad, at least, I mean, he may not be in great shape, but he looks like he's in better shape than I am now. So I'd be like, upgrade. And then, what you choose to do with your life after that point, you could actually go work out, like you've got a lot of potential to work with. Whereas with John, you pretty much just devolving and, developing more and more misshapen claw hands as time goes on.
Yeah, and with the recent accusations against John, the censored accusations, which I think, to be fair, have already been taken back. But it just seems like this is going to open up a whole new window of legal shit and boring drama. And I just wish Stuttering John would fuck off. I think he's I like a drink. He's a tapped keg. He's an empty bag, Karl. And I just think that with Stuttering John, like, it's done. Like, there's nothing else that can be done. I
completely disagree with you, Hughezy. This guy is making news. Are you kidding me? You're going to say that? Now, I know that this isn't broadcasting at the time that we're doing this live, but this week specifically, so much information has come out about John. I'm doing emergency broadcasts yesterday to cover this information, and you're saying there's nothing left here? John keeps reinventing new reasons that he's interesting. And none of it are things that he wants people to be paying attention to. But I totally disagree with you. I think John, I'd love to stop talking about him, but he's the most interesting guy on the internet today.
But did you know Sting was in his music video?
Yes, I did. I'm well aware of all of his credits. He tells me them all the time.
He was on Wings.
Did you know that it's actually more pathetic that he has all those credits and he's this big of a loser? Does he know that actually makes him look worse? That he tells us that he used to accomplish things in life?
Just as we're wrapping up the Stuttering John topic, Karl, I'm my gift to you, even though you're whatever. I don't hold it against you. I do. But with my gift to you is the idea of doing the live Christmas play, either on the air or the show. One Poo Many, a stuttering or a dabbling Christmas. And you could take the classic One Too Many, adapt it a little so that it sets the festive mood, and you could get the Topes, that band, to soundtrack it with your penises or whatever that is that you do. Not that there's anything wrong with bands.
All right, I'm stealing that idea. Thank you very much, Hughezy. Everybody wants to see the One Too Many Christmas edition.
It has to happen.
It'll be amazing. Have you watched that movie, One Too Many?
I've never seen it. I want to, but I don't want in any way to give him money. So I don't know if I buy the DVD, will it give him a royalty?
Hold on. You think a DVD of this movie exists? There's no fucking way. But I'm sure you can stream it somewhere. I don't think John will see a penny of it, so don't worry about that.
That's then I will get it.
I want you to watch that movie and then report back to us, okay?
I want to do the read along radio play. We've got to do something to milk this fucking guy.
Has anyone seen this movie, Phil or Joey? Have you guys seen One Too Many?
I have not. I haven't even seen clips from it.
Okay.
Oh, I've
embarrassing scenes in there.
Yeah, I've seen a clip from it where he's speaking to a clown version of himself, And I've seen better acting at fucking Elton John's wedding to that lovely lady that he definitely enjoyed having sex with. Because and also enough about Jim Norton.